Welcome to the reading of Benny and the Lost, Bell by C.J. Harb, page 1. In the North Pole lived a young elf named Benny Brightbutton. Page 2. Benny wasn't like the other elves. Others wore red. He wore green. Page 3. The elves in Santa's home were busy decorating for Christmas. Page 4. Benny's job was different. He made bells that jingled with magic, the kind that made reindeers fly faster. Page 5. There was one bell he loved so much, a shiny golden bell that sparkled brighter than the rest. Page 6. When it rang, the bell didn't sound like the other bells. Page 7. It rang a soft, magical sound, one that made Benny smile. Page 8. One morning, Benny was outside ringing his bell when the wind blew it out of his hand. Page 9. He ran after it until it rolled into the deep forest far beyond Santa's home. Page 10. Benny ran through the forest calling out, "Stop! Come back, little bell!" Page 11. Suddenly, he heard a deep growl from a massive polar bear. Page 12. Benny said politely, "Mr. Bear, may I please have my bell back?" Page 13. The polar bear stood up and said, "I heard it ringing, so I followed the sound. It reminded me of Santa's reindeer on Christmas Eve." Page 14. Benny smiled. "That's because it's a special, magical bell I made." Page 15. "Then that must make you special too," the polar bear said gently while sitting down. Page 16. Benny said, "I'm not sure about being special. I feel like I don't belong here. While the other elves are the same, I'm different." Page 17. "Being different isn't a bad thing. It's actually special because it's what makes you stand out from the rest," said the polar bear. Page 18. Benny thought about what the polar bear said. "Maybe you're right. Being different isn't a bad thing." Page 19. He stepped forward and pointed at his bell. "I'd like my bell back now, please," Benny said. Page 20. "You must be the elf that everyone talks about, the one that shines differently," the bear said politely, lowering his head. Page 21. The bear, holding the bell in its mouth, said, "Only someone with a kind heart carries light like this." Page 22. The bear gently placed the bell in Benny's hand. Page 23. When Benny touched the bell, a soft but strong chime burst out, followed by a bright golden light. Page 24. "Thank you so much," Benny said, "for helping me see what I couldn't." The bear smiled and said, "We all shine in our own way, little elf." Page 25. As it got dark and started to snow, Benny made his way back towards Santa's home. Page 26. When Benny stepped inside, the other elves walked towards him. Page 27. "We thought you got lost in the forest," said one elf. Page 28. Benny said, "I was, but I found something even better, myself." Page 29. "I realized that being different isn't a bad thing. It's what makes each of us special," Benny said. Page 30. The elves gathered around Benny as he rang the bell. The sound was soft and magical that filled the entire home. Page 31. On Christmas Eve, as the sleigh took off, Benny stood at the window watching, ringing his bell. Page 32. Its magical sound filled the night sky, a reminder that being different isn't something to hide. It's something that makes the world shine.